Hello everybody, welcome back to another art time lapse. Today I think I'll do something a little bit different. I've been doing a lot of painting lately and want to do a little bit more crafting. So today I'm going to work a little bit on Shrinky Dinks. Now I wonder if you guys remember Shrinky Dinks, if you played with it when you were younger by any chance. It's a kind of a piece of plastic you pick up at the dollar store or your local craft store like Michael's and such. And it can come in opaque white or like frosted or clear. So the one I picked up from the dollar store, I think it's like the clear one right here. So it's like $1.50 for 2 sheets, and essentially you can draw on it with Sharpies and different types of medium, and then you bake it in the oven, and then it shrinks into like 50% of a size and it hardens. So I'm excited to kind of play with this, and I was hoping to do some cute keychains for my child. She is moving up to a older class, so we're leaving something hopefully for their teachers. So there's instructions on the back for how you can do that, drawing on with Sharpies, or you can make pendants or keychains, and then you bake it for around, like, it says 40 to 120 seconds. I think on the label it says 370 degrees. So after it kind of cools down, I'm planning on putting some maybe key rings, making it into keychains or pins. This is one I made like a decade ago, probably back in the day, with some white Shrinky Dink and added on keychain on it. I thought was really fun. So this is like a white opaque one I picked up at the Michael's. Unfortunately, dollar store only had the clear one, which is fine. So this time I thought I'll experiment and try different types of medium. So here I'm just going to open up the package and get the Shrinky Dink, take it out, and then put the leftover back in. I think I'll try different types of mediums. Here I'm using like a Sharpie to start off, so just draw the outline. So write teacher Leia, and then draw a little apple. I think I might use gouache, and then also like maybe some acrylics, cheap acrylics like from beginners versus like golden acrylics or liquid acrylics that are like a little bit more expensive, and see how they work, because I've actually never used other mediums besides Sharpie in the past. So here for this apple, I did Sharpie for the wording, and then now I'm using like more expensive acrylic, I would say like Liquid-X and Golden, just to see how it looks like. I'm told that only certain acrylics will work with Shrinky Dink because some of them are kind of heat sensitive or not heat sensitive, and then they might get brittle and crack. So I'm just going to do some small ones and see how things go. This next one I'm using Sharpie again, and then using gouache. Gouache is I have acrylic gouache, which has like acrylic components of it, so I wonder how that will work. Now I'm drawing on top of a piece of cardboard so you can see better how things will turn out. This little kitty I'm working on is also with gouache, so I'm going to see how gouache works and whether it shrinks or not. Next, for this last one, this is Best Teacher Ever and this Educator of Tiny Human keychain. I'm using like the really cheap dollar store or like grade 1 level acrylics to see what the differences are. So I'm excited to put these all in the oven and see how they turn out. So this is how it looks like right now. It's quite large, and I also punched a hole on the top, so that like I can hook on the keychain. So we'll see how they turn out. So that's how they look right now. They always look really cute, I think, and stunning in the beginning, and then once it shrinks, I'm always so shocked by how tiny it turns out to be after it shrinks. My gut tells me that in the future I should always draw a little bit larger than I would think it needs to be, just to see how it turns out. So here I'm putting it on a baking sheet. You can put it on foil as well, and then I'm gonna put it in my oven. I'm separating them a little bit so that when they start curling up and shrinking, they don't end up sticking to each other. Thinking back, I think I'll probably make sure to get a larger cookie sheet that's a little bit more flat, because this one has curves on the side, so makes it difficult that when you shrink it, it doesn't flatten completely. Another pro tip I would recommend is that to use some kind of object to flatten it when it comes out while it's still warm, or else sometimes I find that the Shrinky Dink will shrink into like kind of like a warped shape. So anyway, so this one here and this one here is using cheaper acrylics, and then there's gouache for this Ponyo one here, and then there's more expensive acrylics, so Golden and Liquid-X for that Teacher Leia one. So let's see how it looks like after it comes out of the oven. So here, putting it in my mini oven, setting it to 320, 350-ish, really depends on the one that you get. and then I leave it in there for 40 to roughly 120 seconds. For me, it kind of gauges by like the size of the keychain that I'm making to determine how long I'll put in for, because for smaller objects I would imagine you won't have to put it in as long. And also it's important that you preheat the oven ahead of time. And then I will start my timer as soon as it starts shrinking. You see that it's starting to curl and shrink down to around 50% of the size. So let's speed things up and see how it looks like when it comes out. So here it is. To be honest, a little disappointed. So we'll see. You can see that the ones that I was looking forward to with the kitty cat and also the Ponyo one did not turn out at all. Those were with gouache, and I'll give you a closer look momentarily. Those ones just started brittling up and didn't work. I'm sure because gouache has some water component to it, it didn't really work well. So here it is, the gouache one. You can see how like brittle and like pebbly it looks. It just didn't work out. So I would not recommend using acrylic gouache with Shrinky Dink, in case you're curious. This one here I use like cheap acrylics you can pick up at the dollar store, or just grade 1 level acrylics, and it turned out okay. You can see that it still looked nice. So I might try that again. And then the last one I want to show you is the one that says Teacher Leung afterwards, but I'm actually quite shocked how the dollar store or the cheaper acrylics turned out quite well as well. And then this one from Teacher Leung is from using the Liquidex and the more expensive acrylics, and it turned out fine as well. So here under sunlight is a better look at some of the ones that did somewhat turn out. So recommend using Sharpie and acrylics to do your Shrinky Dink. Definitely gouache is not something you want to try out. So hopefully this video is helpful for you if you're considering venturing into multi-medium and trying to integrate that with your Shrinky Dinks. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploratory experiment on Shrinky Dinks with acrylics and gouache. I'll see you next time. Bye now.